Because there's one name that I am dying to see in the UFC, and that's Dakota Dicha.
What a fighter.
Yeah.
What a fighter.
Talk about the women's
Can you imagine her
division needing a superstar, and talk about a perfectly packaged, talented, gorgeous, eloquent, respectful, good, like literally checks every single box, and she's right there, and she is a flyweight. And can you imagine
You could fight any female right now. Who would you want to go with?
Valentina Shevchenko right now. I want to be at the top. You know, I'm still 26. She's been around for a long time.
Right now, I'm not too sure that Shevchenko is the best 125er there is. This girl is, man, she goes after people.
Laura Sanko has just dropped a crystal clear bombshell aimed directly at Dana White and the entire UFC leadership. Her message? The promotion is overlooking a fighter they absolutely need to sign. At the center of it all is none other than the woman many are calling the violent Cinderella of MMA.
Come on in.
Down the fence.
We're ready.
So long and rangy.
Put away.
We're talking about Dakota Dicha, the undefeated PFL sensation who has been steamrolling her opponents and leaving fans baffled as to why she hasn't already made her way into the UFC octagon. Before breaking down Sanko's bold warning, it's worth looking at what the MMA Twitter world has to say about her rise. Fans are declaring that Dakota Dicha is simply too good to be ignored. Some even insist she'd already be champion in the UFC. And for many, it's not an exaggeration to believe she could run through the entire women's roster right now.
A long time coming. This is mentally the strongest I've ever been.
You know, competition is important to me. So if you're going to put me with the same girls and have the same girls in the tournament, I'm not really that interested.
You've just mentioned there that you want to be the queen of this division worldwide.
We were just kind of thought about going into the UFC.
Thought about for many, many years and just not been in the position to do it. People now with me beating Tyler Santos, they want to see like what else I'm capable of, so it's got to be something more.
People thought she would against Shevchenko. You know, she's never been stopped. She's never been stopped. Shevchenko didn't stop her. People thought she beat her. And now what can people really say? Made it look like another can on the list of people always comment on my stuff.
These aren't just random fan takes. This buzz is echoing loudly across the MMA community after Dicha's latest performances. So buckle up, because today we're breaking down why Laura Sanko believes the UFC is making a colossal mistake by not signing Dakota Dicha, and why this so-called violent Cinderella could be the spark to reignite women's MMA. It all begins with the bombshell statement that has everyone talking. UFC commentator Laura Sanko, known for spotting talent before it breaks big, didn't hold back when asked about Dicha's future. Her words were direct: "For me, it's Dakota Dicha. What a fighter. Talk about a women's division in desperate need of a superstar. She is the violent Cinderella. Bring her to the UFC as soon."
There's one name that I am dying to see in the UFC, and that's Dakota Dicha.
What a fighter.
Yeah.
What a fighter.
Talk about the women's
Can you imagine her
division needing a superstar, and talk about a perfectly packaged, talented, gorgeous, eloquent, respectful, good, like literally checks every single box, and she's right there, and she is a flyweight. And can you imagine the matchups that she could have in the flyweight division?
When Laura Sanko speaks, the MMA world pays attention. She isn't the type to hand out praise casually, and her words carry real weight. That's why the phrase "the violent Cinderella" stands out so strongly. It captures Dakota Dicha's rare blend of charm and ferocity. Outside the cage, her story carries a near fairy tale quality, but the moment that door shuts, she transforms into a ruthless...
Just a little bit.
But she's got everything that you want from your MMA star. You package. She's a violent Cinderella. Bring her to the UFC.
Sanko's message to the UFC couldn't be clearer. They're letting a potential superstar slip away. And given the current state of the women's divisions, especially at flyweight, this isn't just about signing another fighter. It's about securing the next face of an entire division. The timing of Sanko's remarks makes them even more powerful, coming at a point when the UFC women's scene is desperate for new stars, fresh talent, and athletes who can truly capture the imagination of fans.
It's the first place, and then everyone else lost. For me, that's my mindset. I want to finish 30, 60, It's been done. Like, you don't have to lose. I just take things one at a time. I've done that my whole career. I've never looked like too far ahead. head. Once I get in that cage, there's just a switch that happens. Every opponent I fight will try to strike and then try and take me down.
We got the damage so far in this fight. It's been one-way trap. Oh, nasty knee in the middle from Dakota. And a flurry. Get under the body. Here's the...
So why exactly is Dakota Dicha being called the violent Cinderella, Let's break down what makes her so unique and why the nickname fits like a glove. It all starts with her background. Born into the fight game, Dakota is the daughter of Lisa Howard, a respected kickboxer who owned and ran her own gym for more than 30 years. In fact, Dakota practically grew up inside that gym, pushing her stroller around the mats while her mother trained and coached fighters. It's the kind of martial arts origin story that feels almost straight out of a...
See me as the top girl in PFL, especially now I've beat Santos. You know, everyone thought she beat UFC world champion Valentina, so everyone's kind of a little bit like, before that fight, it was like, how good is really Dakota, you know, like, she's not fought anyone type thing. And then when I beat her, now it's like, oh, well, who are you going to get?
But here's where the violent part of her nickname truly comes into play. Dakota Dicha remains undefeated, and her recent PFL performances have been nothing short of brutal showcases. In her latest fight, fans described it as a savage beating, 15 relentless minutes of domination where she punished her opponent so badly that she cried afterward, not because she lost, but because she didn't manage to get the finish. That's the mentality of a true champion, paired with a deadly clinch game that makes her even more dangerous. Her story becomes even more remarkable when you look at her transition from kickboxing to MMA. Before stepping into the cage, Dicha was already a two-time British Muay Thai champion. But when she crossed over into mixed martial arts, she didn't just lean on her striking background. She worked to build a complete skill set, training at the world-famous American top team under legendary coach Conan Silveira. This is where the Cinderella element of her story shines through. Despite her dominance, she's still flying under the radar of many casual UFC fans. She's the princess waiting for her ball, but in this case, that ball is a UFC contract and the chance to prove she belongs among the elite. And Dakota Dicha isn't just satisfied with crushing the PFL scene. She already has her eyes on what could be one of the biggest super fights in women's MMA history, a showdown with reigning UFC flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko. When asked about the possibility, Dicha didn't hesitate, saying, "I don't know if a UFC super fight is in my immediate future, but if PFL champ versus UFC..."
The face of PFL. If I take out the face of PFL, am I the face of...
Now, think about what this really means. Here we have a 27-year-old fighter so confident in her skills that she's willing to call out one of the greatest women's champions of all time. That's not arrogance, it's the mindset of someone who knows they belong at the very top. The fact that Dakota Dicha is even entertaining this conversation proves the level she's already operating at. Valentina Shevchenko has ruled the flyweight division for years, but as the saying goes, Father Time is undefeated, and new blood is always on the rise. Could Dakota Dicha be the one destined to dethrone the queen? Tonight, we bring you breaking news from the world of mixed martial arts. Dakota Dicha has set her sights on a super fight with Valentina Shevchenko, and she's calling it nothing less than